Thank you for joining us on our Family First Life Tri-State Serve the People podcast. We appreciate you tuning in, spending your time to develop and grow with us. Follow us, please, on all our social media platforms at Family First Life Tri-State or FFL Tri-State. We love you. Keep listening, and I hope this information is serving you across the country. All right, everybody, thank you for joining us today on our Training Day podcast. We got a very special guest today. My good buddy John Wetmore flew in from Atlanta, Georgia to join us here in New Jersey for us to grow from each other, which we've been doing most of our career, learning from each other. We've always joked that we've had so many mistakes, and we've just shared those mistakes, which has made us both much stronger. So we're here for a little rendezvous, but when we have him here, we got to get in the studio. So we're excited to bring my man John Wetmore. Again, I'm reading above you right now to find the level that you're at. Senior partner of FFL Agent Force with Family First, just a beast, and one of the original pioneers of Family First. Came over day one, and we were all hacking at this thing together, trying to figure out how to get this done, how to climb that mountain. And it's an honor, a privilege to have you here, and I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, dude, I love being here, man. It's been a hell of a journey with you.
Yeah,
I remember being back early, just sitting in the crowd learning, man. And then now, blessed to be lumped in with you and others that have helped build this thing, man. And I love being part of it, dude. And again, you've helped me a ton, and I've been blessed to be able to do my best to give back to you when you need some things. And I love running this with you, dude.
Yeah.
And it's been a blast.
Oh, it's definitely been great. I mean, like I know, this thing comes with ups, downs, valleys, peaks. It could be an emotional roller coaster at times. But John, as I say that ones who make the jump, the ones who go the distance, the ones who are able to pack the backpack with the stuff needed along the journey, rain, sleet, hail, or snow, are the ones that can handle their emotions the best. Talk to me a little bit about that as you've navigated that throughout your journey. What would be some advice for people in that regard?
Yeah, dude, that's been tough because at the beginning I was not good at that. I'm actually weirdly can be super emotional, like short fused is probably a better way, not like sad emotional.
Yeah.
That's not me, clearly. But like I can like make a big deal out of things that aren't a big deal. And I had to learn that lesson, man, because I've wanted nothing more than to ever help people here. But I was very impatient building this thing. And if someone didn't like take step one that I assumed they should take right away, I would get frustrated. And that came out, man. And I'd spent the first 2 years, dude. I started building this thing day one. I didn't even do this full time when I was building. But I learned it took me a couple years to realize like I was the one scaring them all away. And I think I was setting the wrong expectations. I was putting expectations on people versus getting clarity on kind of where they wanted to go and helping them navigate it. And when I got to a point where I thankfully made the change to learn how to sell at a higher level, that allowed me to have a different level of focus, man. And I really started to go like, how do I just slow down and help understand where people are at? That way I can guide them to where they want to go.
No doubt.
And kind of figure out it's like in-home for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like do almost like a financial inventory on them. Where you at? Where do you want to be?
Right, correct.
And then what are we going to sacrifice to get there and just help them walk through it, man. But I've had to learn that the frustration and the impatience and all that stuff we have it doesn't help.
Right.
And I've been through enough mistakes, bro, that I get to look back and go, remember when I made a big deal over that stupid thing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I've seen so many play out
right.
now that I've learned, like, just having some level of patience, knowing I can navigate it without the emotion.
Right.
It gives a lot of clarity to not only me, but everyone else around. I made it worse.
Right.
By being emotional. Me and you laugh about this because we're both this way.
It's so funny.
I'm doing my best, dude. I ain't perfect. I'm doing my best.
No, I get it, man. I mean, as you say that, my mind just jumps to things that, I was like overbearing about or over emotional about or over controlling about that right now means zero.
Correct.
That's the thing I've learned. I think I've learned the most is that, and that's experience, right? Like, what do we know when we don't know? Like, I've never been at this level before. Okay. and I think I need to be a certain way. Well, you know, once you've seen things over and over and over again, you realize like you start by not reacting, and then you end up being able to call it out way before it ever happens, right? Which there's a piece in kind of knowing how it's going to play out, but it's very stressful when you have no idea and it's your first few times going through it. And I think that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, 100%. Now it's like, although the experience is different, it feels the same. Right? You feel like, oh, I want to get frustrated by that. Dude, I remember, bro, when we started early on, I used to pull IP numbers daily. You know, it's again, making a big deal out of something silly and going like, what are we doing?
Right.
You know, but again, the things I used to make such a giant deal of. But again, now as I get there, the problems are different. But again, it feels the same. So you do it enough times and you go like, ooh, it triggers like, oh, this is one of those moments. And now I look forward to kind of being able to sit back, look at the landscape and go, all right, how are we going to play this?
Yeah.
Like, let's slow down, which actually speeds us up.
Yeah, right.
You know
Isn't that crazy? You know how hard it is to get there mentally? Slowing down to speed up? Because you think speed is speed's the drug at times.
Yeah.
You're like, go faster, go faster. Wait, you can keep going faster, except you have freight falling off the truck.
Yeah.
And, you know, you find out that the faster you go, the more inefficiencies you create.
Correct.
At times. Yeah. I'm not saying don't go fast, because you should go fast, but sometimes you do have to slow down to speed up. And that's a wisdom concept. Like, that's a concept that wise people know, right? But how do you learn that? By getting whacked and getting tossed around a lot, right? So, all right. So we know that the journey is the process is something that's well documented and has to play itself out on this journey.
For sure.
You know, called life, business life, whatever we want to call it. And then you find yourself in a place where, you know, you become an integrity partner, right? Things are different.
Yeah.
You know, explain the initial feeling, but then now, 2 years into this, the feeling you have.
Man, what's funny is it was obviously so different for us because we weren't chasing that specifically.
Right.
You know, where a lot of today, that's the radar.
Right,
you
correct.
know, which rightfully so. So we, you know, early on, we were just trying to build something amazing and heck, be part of building the company and surviving and getting through it. I think the initial was like clearly elation. You know what I mean? Like you kind of feel like, oh, I don't know. I hate to say arrived, but you got somewhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was like a new destination.
Right, sure.
And just the initial was all about a little bit of like relax, like you got to kind of let your shoulders down a little bit and go like, dang, it was all worth it. You know what I mean? All the work you put in, the sacrifices, the traveling, the not being home, and the leads and the things all the problems you're dealing with. Again, you look back and go, all those problems led to this.
Right.
So like the problems were kind of good then.
Right.
You know, it was part of the journey. So I think certainly at first it was like, all right, everything we sacrificed meant something massive. You know, and it's like, oh, dang, it was worth it. Then it also makes you go like, I wonder what you can do. And you start meeting different types of people. And you realize, we ain't accomplished nothing yet.
Right, correct.
You know what I mean? That kind of hit after a minute.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, there's some people doing some amazing things out there.
That's crazy.
You know, you start meeting some of these other partners and what they got going on, what they're building. And, you know, I think being a part of the FFL Come Up was one of the most awesome experiences I've ever had.
Right.
Getting to experience that. Now, no one will get to do that again here.
Right.
You know, it's hard to explain what that was like coming up.
Yeah, sure.
But now it's like, all right, we can be part of this integrity come up.
Yeah.
You know, certainly they're further down the line.
Correct.
But it's still new in its own right. And, dude, we're the next generation of this industry.
Wow.
You know, and that kind of hit. I'm like, I want to be part of that.
No doubt.
I don't just want to be like part of FFL.
Right.
You know, so now it's how can I continue to contribute and come up in this whole industry with others? And we got a long time to run, dude.
I know that's the beauty, right? Like, And the ability to serve.
Yeah.
You know, agents at a real scale. How does it feel now? You know, I think you said something to me the other day. It was like, you said it's like, I don't have the words. But I was talking about, you know, you traveling and you're like, it's like something without the stress. I can't remember what the something was.
I do remember that.
You know?
What did I say?
But it was around the concept of serving agents and giving back and being able to train. And you was like, I'm loving this.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's like this without this, but irrelevant. Yeah. But I think the point is that, you know, being able to serve now, you know, at this capacity with all that's up here, you know what I'm saying? And the ability to give it out. How does that feel?
Dude, I love it, man. It took me a while to like even accept that I was halfway decent at this, to be honest. Like I remember Sean having to be like, dude, and you know what I mean? Because I didn't want to, I don't know, be arrogant about anything. And I wasn't sure. I hesitated. But I was given so much help to get here. I was not a natural. You remember.
I don't think any of us were. But I hear you.
But people think some of us are.
Right. It's funny.
You know?
Yeah.
And that was not me. Certainly I've had some work ethic in my life. So when I realized that's all it took, this became easier for me, you know, but I had a lot of coaching and guidance and people like yourself and others that were willing to give me the truth when I wasn't putting in what it took to get to that next level. And then when I was, helping me kind of mold things I need to adjust and change and tweak. And it was always those small things, those small conversations that gave me like light bulb moments, you know, so I could go out there and do more for my family at the time, you know, and now, dude, I feel obligated to go help people.
Amen.
And I've learned so much going through this journey, and you realize like how easy it is to navigate when you see more clearly. You know, and I just think there's a lot of agents out there and agencies and people trying to do something in the industry, and they're still like got mud on their windows. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I can just come up, clean it off real quick, and at least help them get there quicker. You know, I mean, obviously, Kilmet has been my main mentor locally, and I was able to do things way quicker than him because I had his help.
Right.
You know, so for me, dude, I just want to be part of giving back, and that it's so fun now to just be a little piece of someone's journey, and go this conversation about this. And dude, honestly, a lot of times when they come back and they're like, "This conversation helped me so much," I don't even remember the conversation the way they do.
Right.
But I enjoy that, just being able to give back, man, and be part of this industry. I'm blessed to be someone that people want to hear from.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't take it lightly, dude. So I feel like I owe it to everyone to just continue to give back, dude. And it's a blast. And the lack of stress doing it, you know, because again, when we were building this thing, man, I'm traveling. I'm still going like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to pay this? How do I get this? How about staff? There's so many thoughts brewing.
What would you say to that person? Because, you know, most of our audience is in that position. Most of our audience is a new agent or someone who's just getting rolling, just figuring out the finances of this, or they're building a business and they're scared every day, and they're trying to figure out what move to make next and where to put this next few grand. And so what would you say to that person?
Trust the process. I mean, enough of us have done it now that we're certain it works, you know, and there will be a point in time where you'll look back and it's like, I heard this thing, I think it was Simon Sinek, and he was saying like when you're working out, he goes, if you start going to the gym every day and you go today, you don't, and then you look in the mirror tomorrow, you see no change.
Right.
And then you go the next day and you look in the mirror, you see no change. And the third day, and it's like, when do you see the change? Right? You don't until you look back.
I'm literally like, I've been on the elliptical the last 7 of 8 days for the first time, I don't know, maybe in my whole life, right? Yeah. That level of commitment to this shred, this next level of shred. So as you're saying this, I'm laughing because this is my life.
Yeah. You're looking in the mirror every day. You will never, in the history of time, see change.
This is my life.
Until you go back and look at 3 months ago, 6 months ago.
That's crazy.
You'll never see it. You know, and to me, it's the same in the business. People look at this thing every day and they're like, I invested this.
Wow.
I didn't grow today. It didn't pay off today. It didn't, you know what I mean? But I'm like, every time I've looked back 6 months, dude, I see change in the business, you know? And weird enough, taking this health journey for me, I had to trigger that because I was the same way. Put in all this work. I'm like, nothing changed. May as well just eat more Chick-fil-A. You know? But again, in the business side, it's like just trust it. Especially if you're being coached and guided by, I mean, there's a ton of people here that know how to do this really well today. And if they can paint the picture, you know, and that's where you and I used to have a lot of conversations, which I appreciated greatly, is kind of like how to build the cash flow and seeing what that looked like in the future and projecting it. And, you know, it's so, you know, if you understood how it worked truly, you would push more.
Right.
I would have put more in. I would have been more aggressive because I saw the payoff down the road. I just didn't feel it day to day, you know. But I can look back now and go,
preaching, brother.
Man, when I was being a little timid with stuff, like I was timid with staff.
Right.
We've had those conversations a bunch. I look back now and go, God, the payoff was crazy with my limited investment in things sometimes.
Right.
You know, and I was aggressive more than most.
Sure.
But I still had hesitations, dude. I'm human. You know, and I think for those looking, it's just like trust the process. And if it's about helping people and you're investing and it's really about helping agents, like, dude, you'll eventually have an army of people helping you build this thing. I didn't build this alone.
Right.
I may have got the ball started.
Right.
You know what I mean? And getting it going, but we're the size we are today because I have amazing people in the group.
No doubt.
You know, and let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Time, but that takes time.
Yes, sir.
At the beginning, you're everything to everybody.
Yeah.
You know,
and then letting go of being everything to everyone.
Yeah.
Like again, you know, it's like your kids growing up, right? Like, I mean, my oldest is 9. You know, there's releases at points where it's like, okay, he's got to figure this part out.
Yeah.
And I would bet I don't know when that is every time.
Correct.
Right? Like I bet I'll probably, me or my wife or both of us will probably overdo it until we're like, that ain't working. Like that's really not working anymore. Yeah. Like almost like, right? And there's no school because the school is age or mentorship. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Meaning when my son was 4, I didn't know what 9 was going to be like.
Correct.
Or 8. Now he's done with his 8th year. Okay. I didn't know what 8 was going to be like. Now I have the experience of raising an 8-year-old. I didn't have that experience 4 years ago. Correct. So there's different stages to this right now where it's like, you know, we had a tournament this past weekend playing, you know, basketball. And it's like, you know, he's really trying to learn the game. It was his first time playing organized ball. So it's like he's trying to figure, there's so much to it. What do you do with the ball? What do you do without when you don't have the ball? How do you move? How do you anticipate? And that the only way you learn that, John, is how?
Just experience.
Playing.
Reps.
So it's like we leave the tournament, we leave the game, and they win the championship. But it's, you know, it's a combined effort of, you know, 10 9-year-olds. Yeah. Right? So
I can picture them all out there.
So we got some things to work on. He looks at me and goes, I got a lot of things to work on, Dad.
That's awesome.
And I said, yeah, but I mean, you know what? Like anything else, it's just exposure, son. Like you just have to be exposed. You have to, and we start talking about ball handling skills and anticipation and this, and it's like, okay, we know that's not coming overnight. Yeah. Son, what do we have to do? Got to put in the work, Dad. Yeah. Meaning like, what do you expect to happen? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You aren't born, you know, as Michael Jordan. We got to go put in the work. And I think, you know, that's no different than it was with baseball. Yep. And now he's 4 or 5 seasons into baseball, and his instincts are what I taught. And that was my reference. I said, remember baseball? You were scared of the ball, scared of the bat, and now you're doing your job to control your position and get better in every area, but you're still getting better. And I think when we translate that into this world of agents or agency building, this is the game, guys. Like, you want to get on the court and be as good as LeBron with no work and no effort and no pain. Can you imagine, like, the pain? Like, because as you're growing, everyone's cheering you on, and then they're all taking shots at you.
Yeah, 100%.
So there's 2 sides to this. You got to learn the side where the cheers. First off, you have to learn how to be good enough to get cheers. Yep. Then you got to learn how they're going to shoot at you. But ain't nobody putting you through that school, bro. You know what I'm saying? And those are both equally challenging. Yeah. And then the other side of that. So the journey is worth it, though. Yeah. The process and learning through the steps. And it's like my son, the more we get him on the hardwood, the better he's going to get. And it's that simple. You know, when I'm looking at you now, John, I'm looking at, this, your journey here. Yeah. I'm looking at your social media activity. You're becoming Wetmore the influencer. You know what I'm saying? What was that kind of revelation for you, and what goes into that for you? Because you're very opportunistic.
Yeah. It's evolved, man. Which was kind of weird is like my natural tendency is like delete Facebook and throw my phone in a lake and never look at any of it. Truly. But then I realized there's so much valuable information. I just had to control what I was consuming first, right? And I started consuming stuff to educate myself in that world. And anything negative, dude, I unfollow in a second. And then I realized I was having hesitations of putting stuff out because I was like, I don't want to like pose in the corner and record a thing. It's just what I was the guy that was like, it's not my thing,
right?
But it's definitely a business move for sure. It's a no-brainer. Again, and the people in the world that I pay attention to, they definitely scale their business through it. Also, and I talk enough. I'm always talking to someone about this business. Right. I'm always recording something. I'm always at an event. I'm always doing a training. And I'm like, why don't I just record that?
Right.
And put that out.
Right.
It's
natural.
Correct. All I need is a guy who sees the vision.
Right.
So that took a minute to find the right fit. But again, it's about sharing experiences and sharing the things I'm saying. Because again, if I'm doing a training with 20, 30, 40 people, great. Dude, you get social right. You can inform thousands, tens of thousands, and by default, and it wasn't the intention, I'm all about let's just put out value and good things will happen.
Amen.
And it's turning into like recruiting by mistake.
Right.
Because people want to be a part of what we got going on. And thankfully I have some creative people around me as well that I didn't want to come up with the ideas.
Right.
And I used to hesitate because I'm like, if I got to think what to put, like I'll make something up, but it's probably not going to be correct. But if I can do what I'm good at and get someone, and I think Chris says is it document, don't create social, right? Is more, it's like the, Gary Vee and Brad Lee's of the world, and they're just documenting what they do every day.
Right.
And that's how you build this. And I have regrets now. And as people want to know how to scale this, I'm telling them, put stuff on social media. Social wasn't what it is today. Back when we were in the field, and that's why we didn't have anything.
Right.
And I certainly put that excuse out there. But I'm like, dude, I'm telling them to do it because people like Nina and Hayden are doing it, and we weren't doing it.
Right.
I wasn't doing it.
Right.
And I'm like, why would I not do what I'm talking about as well, just in a different realm, if you will. Just for a different season. So we just decided we're going to start sharing everything, bro, and putting everything out there. And Chris he sees the vision of where we've come from, FFL, myself, my personality, where we're trying to go. And he just does a good job at documenting and cutting little clips out and putting it out there. And you're having fun with it, man. And people like it. And there's valuable information. All I'm trying to do is share, bro.
Amen.
Just share. Best I can. If you like it, great. If you don't, sorry. You know what I mean? But it's helping people, man. And I love that. That's what fills me today, is giving people the same opportunity I was given.
Amen.
And to know I can be a part of like affecting, and I look at it like kids, man. I go, these people, most people are in this business to take care of their family. And I love kids. So I have 5. And I'm like, I can be part of helping other people's kids be raised differently than my initial kids were raised. I was broke as a joke. Maddox don't see broke, but the first 4 definitely did. And again, if I can be part of that journey for someone else just by continuing to share what we're doing, it's a home run. So it was an intentional conversation, an intentional move, and we're going to keep putting stuff out. Yeah. I mean, we're trying to. This is relatively new for us, this level of activity. Sure. So we're just going to keep putting content together, man, and sharing and branding and highlighting everything FFL Integrity has to offer and do it through our voice. And I learned, like, I used to hesitate and go, well, everyone does it. What do they need for? Well, we all have different eyeballs on us.
Yeah.
We should all do it.
Right.
You know, and as a team, get more information out there and build this whole machine.
That's strong. Yeah. So, as we talk, what's going on in the world of Agentforce? How's this thing now coming together for your organization and your ability to take this thing to the next level?
Yeah, man. We're well, that's why we're here, bro. You know, trying to, you know, building it the way we built it. It's evolved now, so we're in a new phase. And dude, we have some amazing groups, and they're taking it and running with it. And I'm looking, all right, the volume's great. The amount of people we help, it's like 10,000 families a month or something crazy. It's like, cool. But dude, that will happen regardless at this stage, whether we do anything or not.
Yeah.
That's how many good people we have. So we're going like, can we go over here and do it again?
Yes.
Bigger, better, faster. You know what I mean?
Right.
More intentional.
Right.
Can make all those things happen.
Correct.
Again, like you said, it's not like running around with our chicken head. Now we can slow down and use more strategy. We've learned a lot. A lot. We've learned a lot over the few years. You know, so now it's, dude, I wanna continue to have an operation that's like an assembly line of helping people get to where they want to go. You know, and I need a team internally. Yeah. I built this thing obviously myself. I had 1 or 2 staff max, and to get to like the big leagues in a different level, like a different hemisphere, dude, I need a team.
Right.
So now it's for me learning how to navigate. I got really good at managing 1099 people, dude. I'm good at that. But internally taking on this journey of like, all right, let me manage a bunch of W-2 players. Dude, I've struggled there. So now I'm trying to put myself in a situation where I can learn how to do that, get better at that thing. I'm always just trying to improve, bro.
No doubt.
And I want a good team around so we can, that all just want to help people, man. And that's our job today. You know what I mean? It's like we're armed with everything we need.
Right.
So now it's just building this team out and looking what can we do outside of everything. Because all that, again, it's great. We did it. Awesome. But how long can we celebrate it?
Right, correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, what can we do and who else can we give this opportunity to? And with our presence and the history of everything we've done, all of us, not just me, all of us, dude, I think we can attract some big league players.
There's no doubt.
First building it the way we built it.
Yeah.
So now it's just adapting.
Right.
You know what I mean? And learning how to adjust. And I've always said the ones that have the most success here building are able to keep their head on a swivel and change with the times.
Right.
Because they change. And if you get too comfortable, buckle up. It's coming. It's coming. That's repeated itself my entire 10 years in the business. You know? So now I'm just expecting.
That's great.
You know? But learning to adapt and change, man. And we're just going out and why slow down? Again, this thing is nowhere where it can be in the big scheme of the world. Like, yeah, we do a lot. But in the industry,
right,
we're this much relative to the total.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to be a big part of that, man. I want to be a big part of, in a positive way, messing up this industry. I want to be part of that.
Right.
You know. So.
And that's still available. You know, this industry's been around 100 years. It's been antiquated for hundreds of years too. 100%. I mean, we're definitely innovating insurance, and this new InsurTech platform we got, New Integrity, is insane.
It is.
And our ability to be able to look at that for what it is. The resource, the partners, the knowledge, the intellect, the wisdom, it's stupid.
Yeah.
And it makes everybody's journey faster because we're stronger together. And I think, I appreciate you coming in and joining me on this podcast, bro. You're just, you've always been one of my favorite people. You just have that. You were the anti, like you had that cool, calm, I was and I'll never forget that dinner we had in New York where you said something to me that rocked me so hard.
Well, I don't remember. I want to hear it.
You said, because I'm trying to navigate this thing and my team at that time, and you were just talking about your pace with killing it and your, the teamwork, the camaraderie, but the intentionality behind that pace. Yeah. And you said everything is intentional. And like even your tone. You're like, everything's intentional. I was like, God bless. Because I was like, I'm like, am I being intentional? No, if I really think about it, it's just massive activity.
Yeah.
That's just like spraying everywhere. And it works in seasons, right? But even at that time, we were at a point where we had the ability to take a different aim, right? But that was like massive for me. I'll never forget that. You know, the way you said it and how true it was. Because it was almost like y'all were down in the South. We were up in the Northeast. I'm supposed to be crazy. Y'all supposed to be calm. Not true. Not true. And that's the way it was painted for a few years. Not true. Y'all were playing chess, and I was playing checkers. And when we had that conversation,
I had to learn that, dude, because I'm from Boston. I'm more by nature, more your style, you know. And in the inside, dude, I'm definitely aggressive on the inside. Mm-hmm. I'm just not normally very vocal. My problem was I would snap and not good stuff would come out. Mm-hmm. You know, so I had to learn, and I learned this in home, and I don't know exactly what day I learned it, who taught me exactly, but I remember having this revelation, like when I wanted someone to understand something, right? If they weren't tracking, instead of going at them, I had to like slow down mentally. I had to like put on the brakes.
Right.
Bite my tongue and think of a question that would help them understand what I wanted to say.
Wow.
I wanted them to discover it, you know, and I've had to slow down with agents the same way. Like if I'm trying to guide or coach, mentor, whatever, someone towards something and they aren't following, my natural instinct is to get frustrated and open my mouth and at them, staff. And I had to almost take I had to exactly take my own advice and like slow down, bite my tongue, and think of a way to articulate through questions for you to discover. Because I learned what I say and what you hear are different.
Right. No doubt.
And it took me a long time to figure that out. I mean, a long time, dude. And
super fast.
Analogies help me figure that out. It's like translation. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It helps me translate what I'm trying to say. So I've had to slow down because, which is weird because now we go faster.
Right.
But my mental, I had to like bring it down a notch and just stay calm. Like it'll be okay.
Right.
It'll be okay. So I'm glad it helped because it was not naturally me.
So again, just a titan in this industry, John Wetmore. Just a killer, bro. Love you. Love having you here.
Too,
just domination from a standpoint of, you know, what you've done over the last 8 years. Senior partner of FFL Agent Force, joining us on the Training Day podcast. We appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Thank everybody for listening. We hope we're bringing you value. If we are, please share it. Please like us. Please comment. It just helps us, and it helps us get this message out to more people. So thank you so much. God bless us. Make it a big week. Take care.